already game number 1. So we're going to go ahead and fix that camera back, and we're going to go right back to bowling action with game number 2. Let me just update that before I forget.
Then I believe Danny's going to have the winners down there, correctly?
Yep.
Or correct?
So
All right. I'm going to take a minute, and I'll be right back.
All right, sounds good. And we'll see if he is going to interview real quick. All right, so it looks like Danny is a little bit busy right now, trying to get some scores and get everything settled down. So we will bring you the action or the interview here in just a minute. Let me get this camera, and we'll get you split screen action again.
It'd be pretty good. It'd be pretty good.
All right, hopefully that is. Oh, that's not even close to where it was. All right, so that should be pretty close to where it was before. Let me go ahead and catch up on the chat here, and I'll get these out of the way. All right, so what did the pros have? Tackett, I know that he opened in the 10th for, I believe, a 196. Hess was down. He opened in the 10th or in the 9th frame. I did not catch his final score. It was under 200 though. Brad, I believe, struck out for 206, and Hoope ended with, I believe, 219. So just 3 pins off second place, 4 pins off the win. And Brad Miller, everybody tweet out about it. Brad Miller picked a 4-pin. On stream. Let's go ahead and clip that, guys. Actually, don't clip that. Should I tell him that we're really happy that that he could pick a 4-pin on TV? All right, so we have Eric Zermowski up on lane number 8. Cameron Doyle on lane 11. All right, so we have Pate up on lane number 7. Let me go ahead and get some of these names in for you. So we got Pate, and then Zermowski. I should know this by now. That's one of those names that you think that you know, and then you just second guess yourself every time. All right, let's go ahead and get that one up, and then we have Benbender. Of course, we have the longest names in the competition. Benbender. Who else is down? Sapolis.
And Ryan Burks.
Okay. Oh yeah, Ryan was up in the left-hand lane. There we go. And I think that we're just gonna on the split screen. I think is where we're gonna keep the names at. I think we're gonna keep the lower third clear on the other scenes, just because we don't want to mess up the text or anything like that. So says, you know what was weird? Zermowski was actually struggling with footing on the last pair. He couldn't slide. I mean, yeah, that happens. You know, you just sometimes hit some difference in approaches, and I mean, especially with the oh, there's a stick right there too from Brad. But with being able to practice on the whole house, I mean, you kind of get your idea of footing, but at the same time, if you slip a little bit on a lane, that could stick in your mind, you know, later on in the matches.
Yeah. Definitely have to be comfortable on the approach. That's very important.
That is Doyle down there on so who did I Benbender?
Sapolis is not there. He's on 9 and 10.
Oh, okay.
Doyle goes high for a 6-pin.
So JXW says, is everyone playing deep, or is some playing them different? Have we seen anybody playing up the I know Hoope was playing up outside.
He was playing pretty far right, really up the back of it. He had 219 that game. But most of the guys are playing deeper and really using the down lane hold. It's starting to already transition. Shea Bidbender on lane 11.
So it sounds
Pretty good shot. Throwing an idle.
So Ray, what would your number be for the eliminator? What do you think it took to make it through the eliminator? $200 on the side, 10 entrants, 1 eliminated. What do you think with this field? What do you think it took to make it through?
156.
You're a little low on it. 170.
170.
170 is what it took, but still, I mean that is
Quick
pretty
$200
surprising.
gone. Oh, tack it.
Someone
Throwing
said
pins everywhere.
someone
Oh, he carried it. Wow, you saw that out of the corner of your screen. He left a 410. The 10 went out early, and then the messenger came and took out the 4 late.
Wow. Somebody clip it. So someone in the chat said there are no. Oh, there are two-handers in this field. Okay. I thought someone said there's no
I
two-handers.
believe there's one
Yeah,
two-hander.
There's one two-hander. Yeah.
And we're going to get their list of bowling balls in a minute. It's on their score sheet. They're collecting that now, everybody.
Right.
Cameron Doyle playing really deep. Goes high again for a 610.
So that's looking like a pretty solid shot right there, but it's just flipping a little bit high. So that much surface.
Yeah, he needs to get it down the lane a little bit, but he'll get there. Eddie Bird throwing an idle up the middle. Goes high for a 6-9.
224 per game.
Per game. Okay. All right, so I have results from the Calcutta. It sounds like the first place is going to pay $522, and the second place is going to pay $224. That's crazy. So what was the most that somebody? Actually, do you want to hop on for a few? All right, so we have Billy Locke joining us. Billy was the one that was kind enough to run the Calcutta. You want to give us some highlights from that?
Top bowler was actually the person who won the first game, Tim Barron.
Wow.
He went for $650.
Oh my gosh.
EJ Tackett, second for $640. And then we got a bunch right around $520, $560. The Calcutta was very successful.
Right. I was in there. It was like, wow, this is a lot different than it was last year.
Indeed. I didn't know what to expect, but it exceeded my expectations for sure.
Right. It's kind of funny that it's about 522 for first. That means that pretty much everybody is going for even on there, because you said it was about $500 for on average, pretty much for everybody.
Yeah, there was $6,630 spent total.
Okay. All right, really important highlight here. We're about to break 400 viewers, you guys. We're at 398 right now. We just got to 300 at about 20 minutes ago. So
Do you have another bowling joke for 400?
I don't know. Do we have a bowling joke for 400, Ray?
Unless there's handicap, I don't know of one.
I said that we were the first ones to get a 300 tonight. So that was our 300 joke. And Raggy in the chat says, "What are they bowling on, Ray?" There's your magic question.
So we might have to put that up in the comments for them so they can see that. It's 42 feet, mostly forward oil, not much reverse oil, 36 mils total, so quite a bit of volume. It's going to really push down the lane. Your high rev players are probably going to do well. Your lefties are fine urethane, they might just murder it. So it's going to be fun to watch. I think he's put it up there now for you guys so you guys can see what the lane condition is, the ratios, the loads, everything, the speed of the machine.
Yep, I'm gonna get you guys a lane graph here in the middle.
I'm gonna compose to Danny that they have multiple patterns next year,
That'd be interesting.
and they don't tell them what lanes they're on what. It's gonna be random.
Oh my
Either
gosh.
way,
I'm
the lane
all
surface
for
is the
making
biggest
it
factor.
impossible.
So you basically want a Peterson.
Well, the lane surface with being wood, it's going to really play the biggest factor, really, regardless of the pattern. Last year, they were
You're gonna
brutal.
have friction no matter what.
They were brutal last year.
So we have the pattern up on the screen now for you guys, just to kind of take a look and see.
There was only 30 mils last year, maybe 31. I think there's 36 this year.
Yeah.
Is that right?
It's a little bit different this year, but it'll still play tough.
Oh yeah. That's the whole goal is just
Nick
tough
Page
as
just missed a
possible.
spare.
All right, Ray, so we're about halfway through the game. How many people we got clean right now? See, 1 on 13. And this is flying through tonight, guys. This is, I mean, we're, what, an hour into bowling?
5 or 6 clean. Brad Miller with a foul.
Was that a foul? Oh,
That was
man.
a foul. He's stuck again, it looked like. 7 and 8's giving it a little issue with the approaches there.
That was a late foul, too. He looked like he had some issues and then
5:22
kind of went over.
and 2:24.
And Tim Barrett down on 3 and 4. Looks like he's got a 57 in the third with a 9 count in the fifth. So opened in the second frame.
Another high shot for Cameron Doyle. He really can't get his ball to stop hooking.
I don't know if he made the right ball choice. It seems like it is hooking nonstop.
He's
for
going
him.
to try to loop it and play that line. So, I mean, he'll make it work, but I don't see it working all day. Shea Bittenbender went high, too.
So those that I'm seeing actually getting to the pocket, not going high, when they're hitting the pocket, it seems like they're having a really hard time with actual carry.
Yeah, which is, I mean, I've seen a few shots that normally would carry without a doubt, and the ball just kind of dead on the entry.
Yeah, they're burning up and then hitting that that puddle of oil at the end of the lane and just not really getting through the pocket.
Now, something I think he allowed last year, but I don't know if he allowed this year. Can they make surface adjustments between games?
Only between games.
So they can make adjustments
Yep.
between games. Okay, so they do have that option available.
Another black 10 for Rad. Just what you were talking about, Billy. The ball is really not getting through the pocket. Eddie Bird threw one out the window. Oh, that's an ugly 7.
Oh my gosh. So let's point out EJ's with EJ Tackett going strike spare 4 in a row, and now he's looking at a baby split. You can see it just off the left side of your left split. And someone asked would their spare ball count as one of their 2? Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, it's two balls, and that is it.
Last
And-
year, some bowlers they had they never shoot spares without a spare ball, and it really showed.
Right. And now what we were kind of mentioning, though, is that with that little, I'll go ahead and bring the pattern back up again, but that little box, that's pretty much a third arrow. I feel like that's really going to help people, especially later in the day, shooting spares with the bowling balls that maybe hook a little bit more. It's going to hit that, but the issue is going to be
carry down.
are the carry down, and are the heads, is it going to go burn, slide, burn, you know what I mean? Like it is.
Kind of similar to last year. You know, if you're shooting at spares, trying to hook at them, it's not going to really work. You have to kind of take the lane out of play. Regardless of strike ball or spare ball, you really don't want the lane to play a big factor. So it's gonna be interesting to see. You got a bunch of urethane, a bunch of surface. You got a lot of pearl isometric bowling balls. EJ's throwing a Venom Shock Pearl.
Right. And an interesting comment in the chat by Rogi says, sometimes surface is the only way to get to the pocket, but then it won't carry.
Very true.
Yeah.
It seems like that's what I'm seeing a lot.
It's the biggest factor in a ball motion, so
Like 70%, they say, or 70%.
pretty much.
Yeah.
And if you can change after each game, I mean, I would have a ball spinner on hand if I was bowling. If you need polish, you need polish.
Right.
I haven't seen one ball spinner, though, so that's a little different.
And how effective can you really be if you're hand polishing a bowling ball, you know, throughout the
It's
day?
not going to really work.
You get one of those old like two-handed the little ball sling
Like
things.
Liam from
and-
Big
yeah.
Lebowski. Yeah.
Yeah, you need to get one of those then. And someone said the back ends are gone. Yeah, I mean the transition's going to be brutal on this, you guys. I mean, we thought that the first game was low. I mean, 222 and 221. You don't expect to see anything different with this, but it is. I can definitely see some 230s popping off. I could see some 2-0s winning some games eventually
I
tonight.
think 212 won one game last year, I believe.
Cameron Doyle's found it.
That was a good shot.
Yeah, he just gave it a little more room and got a
It
little
was
more,
softer.
yeah, a little
Yeah.
softer with it. Because with it having that much oil down lane, if you have rotation in your soft, you can make it corner and make it carry. The guys that are getting it to burn up and overthrowing the ball, they're going to wash out or they're going to go beak.
So I agree with what Bowler Mike said in the chat. He said the back ends are gone. Calling it now. Straight up 5 is coming.
I can see it.
I feel like everybody's kind of keeping that in their arsenal and their backup plan for games 3, 4, 5. But you never know. Some people might make that move early, especially being out of it. I see a lot of people that are already out of it, so you may see some
Drastic changes like test shots.
Yeah.
Right, what I call desperation moves. You know.
Yeah, most of them are going to play in the middle of the lane, wait for it to burn up. They're either going to chase it left or, like you said, chase it right, obviously. But I can see both working well. It's just who's going to get the ball to corner and carry the corners.
And Brad Miller on lane number 8 throws a strike, first strike of the game, raises his fist.
Burke has a good look. He's got 229 left.
Yep.
No, 259.
And then EJ's over here. He's got a double going to the 10th, possible 246, 226 pace.
Yeah, and I'm not really seeing
Or
anything
220.
else around.
259 on lane 11.
Okay, yeah. Which is our
Parks.
live stream pair.
Yeah.
Yep, 59 over there, and then possible 224 for Cameron Doyle.
Nice shot over there for Packy. He's got 2. Oh no, that's
He has a 170 left if he can strike out in the 10.
okay.
Brooklyn for Mr. Shea Bittenbender.
Take what you can get.
So Cobra in the chat says, did bowlers have access to the lane graph before bowling, or did they have to figure it out in practice?
I would say they got it 2 weeks ago, maybe.
Yeah, I know Danny posted it quite a while ago.
Yeah. They've had it for a minute.
But the thing that was interesting about that was that Danny posted it. I don't think it was ever like in the event or anything like that. So it was available, but it wasn't widely spread out. Which I wonder if that's kind of a strategy by most of the bowlers, because everybody's going head to head on here. So
Cameron Doyle gave it some room, makes it corner. It's another 6-pin.
wow, high pocket 6-pin. So he's got 203 left,
Brooklyn for EJ Tackett.
and that puts him in the
Puts him in
two.
at least second.
Yep.
I think he's got second locked up.
And our first game winner, Tim Barrett, 121 in the 7th, so he can strike out for 201. Tom Hess with a 166, it looks like, in the 7th. Left an 8-10 in the 9th, though. Got a strike up in the 8th. So open. So he's got 194 in the 9th, so he can strike out for 224.
Who's that?
That's Hess.
Ah, okay.
EJ Tackett, another baby split. Takes a 10 out late. 235 if he can spare. It's good for some money.
So I like Captain's comment in the chat, when the fronts go and the down lane is tight, good luck.
That's
Yeah.
when Loft is your friend.
Right, I'm kind of surprised. We were talking a couple days ago about a pattern that was just kind of like an impossible pattern, and a bowler that we both know was lofting but going pretty much straight up 13 or something like that.
Anytime you put a puddle of oil in front of the pocket, it makes it difficult.
Oh, perfect. Danny just sent us some scores from everybody, so
It also
we'll go.
shows where the balls are throwing.
Perfect. Okay, so we'll start with Scott Levy with a 166, and he is throwing a Mamba hybrid, and is that Eon Infinite?
I believe so. That's what it is.
Okay. And then Tim Barrett, Matchup Pearl, Idle Pearl, EJ Tackett, Venom Shock Pearl, as well as a Covert Tank. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll mention the scores too. Tim Barrett 223, EJ Tackett 189, Eddie Bird 176.
Oh, eight
with,
count.
with an idle and a phase 2. Tom Hess 177, and he's got a
GB3 and GB3 Pearl.
oh okay, all right.
Yeah, I didn't know what it was either.
Derek Madsen with a 208, it looks like, with a Game Breaker 3 Pearl and a Purple Hammer. So he's got urethane in his bag. Brad Miller with an even 200, Winter Solid and Idle Pearl. Nick Pate 156 with an Idle Pearl and a High Road. Eric Zermowski 220 with a High Road Nano and a Crux Prime. David Rosenberg, Pitch Black and Hustle Inc. Cody Aldrich with a 179 Storm Pitch Black and IQ Taurus Solid. Mike Sapolis 222 with an After Dark and an X.
Hey,
Right.
Hey,
Yeah.
Ricky.
Yeah, go ahead and chime in.
Ryan Burks over here is on 11. He has a possible 237 with a strike. He needs 9 pins to top EJ Tackett for $1,500.
All right, let's
Second
take a look
place
at this.
will receive $640.
Well, we got 245 right in front of us.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe.
All right, so we'll bring that up. We've got that pair on the live stream
Still an
as well.
important shot.
It is a very important shot. This would at least guarantee second.
And asked in the chat, so they can only use 2 balls. Yes, 2 balls is the limit. They got to practice with anything they wanted to, and then after practice was finished, they told us which 2 balls they were going to use, and they actually wrote down the last 4 of the serial so that they could be checked throughout the night. It is
Ooh,
an
great shot.
8-game format, $1,500 for first, $640 for second each game. And it was a $1,000 entry with 18 bowlers on the night. So 237, and let's go ahead and go to 9 and 10 here. Do we know who has 245 coming up on
David
my number?
Rosenberg.
Yeah, David Rosenberg, lefty.
Very good, very good. So I'm going to go ahead. Ryan Burke, Sonics Vibe, and a High Road. Cameron Doyle with a 170 High Road Pearl and an Idol Pearl. Shea Benbender 182 Idol and a winner. Mitch Hoope, Game Breaker 2 and Game Breaker Phenom Pearl. Packy with the T-Zone and the Johnny Petraglia. That's a
lot of
that's
revs
the
and
best.
plays the gutters.
that's a great combination.
That's the best setup yet. That's the best arsenal yet.
All right, so that sounds like that's our whole.
Rosenberg needs 2 here for the win.
Needs, yep.
Yeah, 2.
All right, so there it is. Shots
Pretty
away.
good. Oh, couldn't get it
Oh.
through the pocket. Another one.
So I think that's
237 is going to take the win for $1,500, and then EJ Tackett will be in second with 235 for $640. Ryan Burks is the winner of the game 2.
So 230s on this one. So there's our 230s. Now is our 2-0s coming up here in the next game. What do you guys think? The now with them moving one pair at a time, do you think that that's better for them, or do you think that that is? What do you guys feel about that?
I think it's better for the bowlers because they can watch who they're
Yep,
following, and
exactly.
they can watch the pair next to them. If it was random, it'd be completely different. You wouldn't know who to follow, what's working. You also wouldn't be able to watch them throw their shots.
Right. And I remember last year, boy, that schedule last year, gosh.
If I'm a lefty and I'm following Rosenberg, I'm licking my chops right now.
Billy and I were actually talking about
good.
this a little earlier today. So 224 for Rosenberg, but the schedule last year, we made it to where bowlers had a schedule that they followed, and they never followed the same person twice. So each pair had a completely new lineup, new match. So it was quite the hectic lineup, schedule, whatever you want to call it, but we somehow did it. But this year decided to make things a little bit easier, and the right lane moves right one pair, the left lane moves left one pair. So, and in the chat it says Loft and Rev Rate straighter guys are going to have to make some absolutely pure shots.
Where's Norm Duke at?
I mean, you know, that I'm curious to know how much that, because for some reason the biggest thing that stood out about the whole pattern, which I'll go ahead and bring up on the screen again,